Hey guys, I'm Greg. This is Stephanie. This is our podcast, Living in Key West Island Stories. We are both real estate agents here in the Florida Key, so if you're looking to buy, sell, or have your property managed, go ahead and reach out to us. Stephanie, who do we got as our guest chef? Our guest chef here.
Our guest chef. Oh, puppy break. Puppy break.
Hello,
puppy. Hello, puppy.
Please forgive us.
We have Chef Clive, who is the owner of One Love. If you follow us at all, you know we are obsessed with One Love Food Truck. We come here at least once a week. We had our Christmas dinner was One Love.
We did.
Yes, we love One Love Food Truck. But Chef Clive is
Your
also...
Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
Wait, Thanksgiving.
No, it was Christmas, wasn't it? This was the first year you did Christmas, wasn't it? Christmas dinner. There was the salmon and the... I don't think it was Thanksgiving, was it? Or was it Thanksgiving?
I usually don't open on Christmas.
You were open on Thanksgiving, though.
Was it Thanksgiving? Was this the first year you did it?
Yeah.
Okay, Thanksgiving, sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways, Thanksgiving dinner.
Guys,
Okay,
don't
we
get
had
any ideas.
Yes,
Opening Christmas Day.
Yeah, our Thanksgiving dinner. But you are also a celebrity private chef, and you do catering.
Yes, I do. I do.
And also, you're going to be doing possibly some new stuff,
Some
which
really
we'll talk
exciting
about.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we've got a lot
Sign
of
us
stuff
up
on it.
for all of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try to keep it interesting.
Yeah.
I try to keep it fun. And, as much ideas that I have in my head,
Yeah,
nobody's going to know about it until I bring it to life.
that's right.
And some of these are really interesting ideas.
Yeah.
I try to stay true to our culture, but keep it modern.
Yeah.
And keep it American. So, people who come to the truck that are not from, the Caribbean can still, get a taste of the Caribbean and see what our cuisine is all about.
Yeah,
So-
you do a great job. It's very accessible. I think it seems authentic to the cuisine, but it's also not so far out there that people are like, what is that? Like, it's really, really good. So, the first question we always like to ask our guests is, what brought you to Key West? So can you tell us the whole story of how you ended up in Key West?
Well, it's a fun story. It's an exciting story.
Okay.
And I was coming into something that I have no clue. Even though I lived in Florida for a little bit,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about Key West until a brother of mine was driving down from New York, and he stopped and saw me in Orlando, and he was like, "Hey, I'm going up to Key West." And I was like, "Key West, And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go down there and see what's going on." So I said, "Okay." He went to Key West, and it was like, "Man, this is a place to be."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I take a trip myself, and I came here, and I was like, "Wow." This doesn't feel much different from Jamaica.
It's got the vibe.
So the scenery and the drive coming down, I felt like I'm home. I felt so comfortable, And then when I came here and saw all the fruit trees and all the similar fruits and just the island vibes, I felt like this is it. So we get an opportunity to start doing something. And at the time, it was right across the street from Blue Heaven.
Oh.
Yes, a little place called Kingston.
Okay.
So we took it over from this guy, William, and we started doing Kingston. We started doing Caribbean food, grouper sandwiches, conch salads, conch fritters, and our famous jerk chicken. So that's where it all started, right here in Key West.
Wow.
That's a
didn't know
good
that.
story. Yeah, and I get where it can definitely give you those vibes.
Yeah.
Island
where
vibes.
The island
Yeah.
vibes. And I just feel like Key West has that vibe that either you get it or you don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people get it.
Yeah.
And they come down here and stay, or they start a business, or they, buy a home and work remotely or whatever. But you get here and you have that laid back vibe.
Yeah.
It's nice and chill. You got the tropical temperatures nonstop.
And fruits.
It's a
fruit
little
trees.
toasty right now. Yeah.
And coconuts. I came here and I saw coconuts and tamarind and all these tropical fruits.
Yeah.
So I feel very, very much at home.
Yeah.
So we thought we were going to be here for a short time because this was an opportunity to start doing something. Because I always want to do more than, working for somebody. Let's see what I have in my head so I can, rather than somebody tell me, "Hey, I want you to do this, I want you to do that," then maybe I can be more creative for myself.
And do what you want to do.
Yeah. So that's where it all started.
Okay.
How
Awesome.
long ago was that?
So this was in 2008.
Okay.
Been here for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how
15
long
years,
did you
that's
do that
nice.
before you started your own thing?
So my culinary experience started in Jamaica,
Okay.
and I was a server, believe it or not.
I believe it.
Yeah, I was a server, swinging trays, running through dining room, putting on a show.
Yeah.
Until somebody that I met, she came on vacation. I don't know if I should talk about this.
Yes, talk about it. Yes. I was going to say, what's your culinary career was a question, so you're answering
So
it. Yes.
she came, she bought herself a gift, and she came to Jamaica by herself, and that's how we met. And I decided to take her home and cook her dinner. So this is very
While you were a server.
while I was
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
a
Good for
server.
you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So imagine cooking, Jamaica. We're gonna use what we have,
Yeah.
So imagine me cooking a lobster meal with one pot.
Yeah.
All these Caribbean food, yam, bananas, dumplings, lobster, and all I had was one pot, and she was blown away. So she was like, "What do you want to be?" And I was like, "I don't know. Maybe I want to be a food and beverage director or something." And she was like, "I think you should be a chef."
Wow.
So this is where the
So
chef.
that's where it all started.
This is where the chef started. Yeah.
If you never met her, it could have been a whole different story.
It could
Wait,
have
so
been.
did anything happen with her or no?
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story.
That may be the off limits
Oh,
time.
well, I was just curious if she came into your life to give you this idea and then she left, or if it became a bigger part of the story.
In fact, she's still in my life.
Yeah.
We're not together anymore. We got divorced 4 years later.
Okay.
We got
All right.
married
So
like
this
in,
is your ex-wife.
Yes.
She's the one who gave you the idea to become a chef. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's what I was curious about. Okay.
Well, very
So-
cool. Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you met her.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we wouldn't have one love.
Well, maybe
And,
we would, but
maybe
it
we would.
Yeah.
But who
Yeah.
knows?
Well,
Yeah.
just
You never
like I said,
know.
you never know.
You never know.
But
But-
these.
Because of her, we definitely have one.
Yes,
How about that?
exactly. So she gave you the idea, and then what happened?
Well, she encouraged me to get into cooking.
Yeah.
And so we got married in Jamaica, and I came to the States. I came to New York, and I think it was 4 days after I came here. I was enrolled in a cooking school, so my cooking classes started immediately when I came here, and it was a challenge. It was definitely a challenge because coming from Jamaica straight to America, different culture, different scenery. I have no clue what's going on. I was stuck with numbers of books. I mean thick textbooks to read and absorb all this information, and I felt like it was too much. It became overwhelming, so I dropped out for a little bit, and then I went and get my GED, and then I went back.
Oh, okay.
So I actually got a diploma in a culinary academy,
Oh, cool.
and that's where it all started. From there, I took some lessons. I took some classes, some management classes at Nassau Community College over in
Okay.
Long Island, New York,
Yeah.
and then I saw an opportunity to work for Walt Disney. Yeah, so I came to Disney World and a college program. I told people I became a college program specialist. after a
Yeah.
number of years. But yeah, I mean that was quite an experience, and I still have a lot of memories.
Yeah.
From Disney. It was like really, really good training. I learned so much from Disney. I mean, sanitation, cross contamination, all that stuff, how to keep food safe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So that was very important for me.
Yes.
In my career. And I just jumped right over up to Disney. I jumped right over to the Marriott Hotel, the World Center right here in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where I get a lot of fine dining experiences. So I was able to take all those experiences and take them to Key West.
Yeah.
And but Key West now kind of gave me that opportunity to cross over in my culture.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
absolutely.
then now I realized now I can, use things like food like yellow yam, or green banana, and create other stuff. It could be like a whipped green banana mash, or I use yam to make gnocchi and stuff like that. So I started to experiment a lot with food and island cuisine, and turns out that people thought I was different. My style of cooking and my style of food is different. So
And good.
it become really interested.
Yeah.
For people. So that's where that's how Key West and One Love really came about.
Yeah.
I have tons of stories. I mean,
Yeah.
my experience really took me around New York, and I was fortunate to work with some guys. Well, not even some guys, but in particular this guy Mark Bynum, who have won shop 3 times.
Wow.
So that was a great experience working
Yeah.
with him. And I still can remember back in the days when we were working together.
Mm-hmm.
The energy, the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
the love for the food, and I don't know, maybe it's something that actually rub off. It transfer from maybe human to human,
Mm-hmm.
but I became similar in that sense to want to be the best. I want to prepare food that people really really love.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So started in Jamaica, and now I'm here in Key West.
So
It sounds like you may have won Chopped with your first time cooking. Right?
absolutely
You're
the
grabbing
one pot
stuff out.
lobster
One
and
pot
the
lobster.
Yeah,
It's so good it turns you into a chef
And a husband.
And a husband.
Yeah.
You got a lady and a career out of
You're
the
not
whole.
allowed to cook for Stephanie.
You need to cook for me once a week.
That's true. That's true.
So you mentioned that when you came from Jamaica to New York that you had a culture shock. So what was the most shocking thing for you?
I think geographically and a sense of direction, I could not tell where I'm at. So imagine, I'm on the highway. I did not know whether I'm going east, west, north, or south, because all those freeways are so. You don't see anything. You don't see building. All you see is the streets. So you're just driving. You gotta ask: am I heading south? Am I heading east? You know what I'm saying? So that was and then just the scenery and the snow and the cold, all that stuff was so different.
Yeah, very different.
Way different. Yeah. It gets cold in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I never get used to wearing gloves. And coats. I never get used to it.
Yeah, it's kind of uncomfortable.
It is.
Having
It's
all
a
that
lot.
extra stuff
I mean, every
on.
time you go outside, you got to coat up and
Yeah,
put gloves
bundle
on,
up,
and then
yeah.
you walk right inside, and you're like, well, now I have to take everything back
Right.
off. And,
Yeah,
wait, I forgot something in my car. I got to put everything back on.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
There you go.
yeah.
So you mentioned that one of your mentors imparted on you a love of the food and like a passion for it and cooking things that people are really happy to eat. I feel like, and I don't have experience in the service industry or restaurant industry, but I feel like there is sometimes sort of a stereotype of it being toxic. Sometimes like toxic work environments or challenging work environments. So that's really interesting to me that you had a mentor who, or I think that's great that you had a mentor who imparted like positive feelings on you and kind of built you up and gave you that passion. Have you ever had experiences that were not that way, or have you had largely positive experiences in that
So
industry?
I have mixed.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to say it's negative.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think to myself, I says, if some of these customers see what's going on behind the door,
Yeah.
would they still want to eat?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But sometimes it gets real intense when you're working for a restaurant,
Yeah.
and fine dining, and people, the kitchen is pumping out 400 or 500 covers.
Yeah.
It really, really get like intense.
Yeah.
And now I see why a lot of cooks are sometimes outside smoking cigarettes and stuff like that.
Or heavy drinkers.
Or everything.
Yeah. Super stressful.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's-
In
absolutely.
those,
It is.
like you said, in the
Fine
fine
dining.
dining,
Yeah.
Yeah.
where you're doing 400 or 500 plates at a night. That's a lot of food to be
It's a lot
pumping
of
out,
food.
and
It's a lot of
keeping the general public happy.
Yeah.
Which is literally impossible.
Right.
So you're going to have those people who are going to complain.
Yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
food. Right.
So it's very stressful. Yeah.
It's really intense, and managing time working with other people, that's what makes it really, really challenging. Because another thing that I found out in fine dining and a lot of these restaurants is it sometimes become competitive. Because line cooks are competing for the next position. So imagine you have 4 guys
Yeah.
working on a line. They're competing for the next position, so they won't have to work this line anymore.
Yeah.
So the next position could be expediting position or a sous chef position. So in order to compete, and sometimes this is funny, you know, the terminology that they use is that, you know, Clive is in the weeds or somebody else is in the weeds. So rather than they really work together, sometimes this person wants to leave you in the weeds. So
you fail. Yeah. Yeah.
so they get a chance to grow.
Yeah.
And you know, a lot of times I look at it and I'm like, well, you know, it's just what it is. You know, people it's challenging. People are competing to be the best. Everyone wants to grow. You know, it's not a well-paying job to say, well, all right, you know, you're busting your ass. I don't know if
You
I
can say
should
that.
yeah, you're busting your ass to really make it happen, and you know, it's up to you to put out the right product every time. You know, it's just hard when somebody wants you to look at it, because they know it's not about the customer anymore.
Right.
It's about the kitchen, you know.
Right.
And if we should be one team, if we should be like a musical band, you know, then we should be all working together to make it happen. Yeah. But I don't know if it changes now. I mean, I haven't been working the land in a while, so
But that it seems like the positivity. It seems like you have positivity in your business. That's why I brought it up, because I feel like the energy here is so good, and I think that comes through in your food. So, like, to your point, like, would someone want to eat somewhere where like the kitchen is cutthroat? I think it would be a completely like different experience eating here, and the food product would be different if you had people snipping at each other or working against each other. It seems like everyone here is happy. They're very kind when you're here. They're very helpful, and they seem happy to be working together. I mean, maybe something goes on behind the scenes. I don't know, but I feel like that.
There's always something.
There's always
something. I think
the energy's good.
Yeah,
overall.
we try to you know, keep a good vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, you got the music going. You got
Bob Marley's in the background.
Mural behind us. You're doing some paintings on the picnic tables.
Yeah.
One Love is the name.
Yeah.
One Love is his name.
I mean,
so again, I've learned from my past experiences. I've gone in their refrigerators, like the walk-in cooler, and I saw chefs just keep banging and screaming.
Yeah.
You know, and I always said to myself, man, this is intense.
Yeah.
But for some weird reason, I always managed to keep myself calm. You know, I was always a grill. I'm a grill guy. So imagine you work in the grill, you know, and you're still not sweating, you know.
Yeah.
So I feel like part of my experience and my calm vibes is to just stay calm no matter what. I still don't smoke, and I'm not a heavy drinker. Yeah. So I feel like that level of stress over the years, I didn't allow it to get to me. Yeah. I'm getting more stressed now than I had years ago, because obviously this is mine. So I think it's a little more stressful. But you know, for the guys that work here, you know, we really have a good relationship. I feel like my role is to have everybody feel welcome and feel like this is a place they want to be. So whenever they get up in the morning, they feel like coming here is either probably going to release the stress, you know, allow them to communicate with customers and just be friendly and kind. And I believe also is how I treat these guys. You know, I do not allow them to look at me as a boss. I try to create a culture where we all work together. So there are times I'll be like, hey, I'll go wash the dishes, you go work the line, you know? Or I'll do the work.
You're not too good to go do the work that a lot of chefs probably would never even touch.
Keep going.
So Stephanie's leaving us, guys.
Okay. I don't know. I just had like a thought in my head that I didn't press record.
I pressed record. Oh, okay. You did not press record. So that thought was accurate.
My thought was accurate. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay.
I think that's a great way to think about it, because it's a trickle-down effect, right? So if you come in and you're in a bad mood or you're grumpy or whatever, then the guy who's taking the order, it's just going to trickle down, and then it's going to go to your customers, and your customers are going to leave bad reviews, then your bad reviews are going to stop people from coming. And luckily for you, you got Living in Key West on your side, who promotes you every single time he gets a chance. But so I think that's a great way to look at it, because
I think that's
want people to be happy.
It's the mark of a good leader.
It is
someone who leads by example and someone who says, like, it matters to me about the mental health of the people people who work with me. They're not just like drones who are here just to, they are humans too. And
I also think it's not something that I've learned. I just think it's who we are.
It's who you are, yeah.
So if you want somebody to be in a comfortable environment, you wouldn't want to do something that makes them feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I feel like if we're gonna do this together, then we cook together and we clean together. And at the end of the day, we still, I'm also interested in your well-being. I mean, if somebody's not feeling so good, you want to go home, I'll go over and I'll take over.
Yeah.
So I try to do that as much as I can. And before, and I will take it back a little bit. Before the food truck, I was the executive chef at Key West Harbor Yacht Club down the road. So, believe it or not, if my boss knew I did this, then it would be crazy. But I have guys came to work before and they're drunk. And it was easy for me to terminate them.
Yeah.
But I said to myself, well, if I terminate the dishwasher, who's gonna wash the dishes?
Yeah.
You're washing
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I just gave them some time to go sleep it off. Feed them, get them water, whatever.
Care for them. Yeah.
So all the guys that I've worked with over there, most of the guys are like brand new, never worked in the kitchen before. They all graduated and they move on to become managers. Own bit there, some of them are self-employed, they're personal chef, and some of them are sous chefs. So it's concerning the fact that they haven't been to school, but yet they get a chance to own, at these positions. I think that I really spend time into developing these guys to be a better cook for me, but also importantly, a better person for themselves.
Well, again, I think that's the mark of a great leader and a mentor is someone who you feel like the success of that person, even if they leave you and go on to do something else, that's still a success in your work with them. It's like people who, I feel like managers are people who want to keep you down, keep you there in the same position, or they feel like, you can't move. That's the worst type of leader because it's like you're supposed to be helping someone grow. And if they move on, that's great. And,
exactly.
Yeah.
And if they want to move, and I was in Jamaica one time, I think this was around 5 years ago, driving, going about my business, driving through the cane field, and I got a notification, and then I was like, Ashton. So I pulled over and I read what he posted, and he says, because of you, Chef Clive, my life has changed forever. And at the time, I think he was up in Denver, Colorado, working. So it actually brings tears to my eye. Some people say, well, guys don't cry. I'm like, man, I mean, I thought I was just doing the minimum.
Yeah.
By just making sure these guys learn what they need to learn so they could move on one day.
Yeah.
But it was much more than that because, the comfort that I provide, the sense of, hey, don't worry about making any mistakes. You can make it 10 times. You know what I mean? You can ask me as many times as you want. So I think that's one thing that I try to work with people, young chefs.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid of making mistakes and don't be afraid of asking me.
Yeah. Yeah. That is rare though. I know you say
rare.
this is just the bare minimum or you just treat people like a human, but I think that's rare across
the board.
In kitchens and anywhere. I think that's rare. I think it's it's a rare quality to have as a leader, especially as something that just comes naturally to you, that you treat people that way and you care about their mental health and who they are as a human being. I think a lot of businesses don't feel that way.
I think they're most productive when they feel less pressure.
Of course, yeah.
And I remember I worked in many kitchens, and the minute the chef walked in the kitchen, everybody got nervous.
Yeah.
So I feel like people tend to make mistakes when they're nervous.
Yeah.
Why make them nervous if you want them to be more productive?
Yeah, it's counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
So what would be your best advice for someone who is a young chef or someone who's wanting to get into the industry?
If you have a love for the food and you really want to be the best you can be, I just think that you have to practice. Just practice.
Yeah.
Be comfortable. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. Flavors come over time, and what happens is that if you don't know, and a lot of this is also mental. You don't know if you pair two items together what the product going to be until you know what each item, what each food tastes like.
Yep.
So I feel like you have to taste these foods. You have to work with these food before, and then you know if you put them together, then what's going to happen. So I feel like you have to practice. You have to make mistakes, and through these mistakes, sometimes you create other things. You know, but I think because of years of experiences too, I think you're able to create menus in your head. You know, like you have to really know what this is going to taste like before you even make it. So I think that's what years of experience does. But you have to spend time and you have to learn, and you have to listen to people and listen to the people who've been there.
Yeah.
Because they have a lot of experience, they have a lot of things to tell you. I sure listened to a lot of people back in the days, and you know, you're not going to get around or get away from working hard. You know, culinary business is just work hard. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays we have blenders and stuff like that, and food processors to really help you. But I think that if you learn how to really develop real good knife skills, I think that's also one of the basics of becoming like a real professional chef.
Okay.
I think cutting vegetables and you know, onions, shallots and stuff like that, I think you will get more flavor when you're sauteing them than put them into a food processor, because then the food processor create more liquid that doesn't saute it nicely. So I still use my knife for a food processor.
So knife skills, tasting a lot of things, sounds like trying a lot of things and
Be willing to
practicing.
learn.
Yeah,
And
experimenting.
listen. Be willing to listen.
And
That's
a good mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
Now I'm hungry.
what's your favorite thing to cook?
I love cooking Italian food.
Really?
Yes, I do. I do. I love cooking Italian food. You know.
Okay.
I spent some time when I was a chef at the yacht club down the road. We would always accommodate people who came in town and they have maybe like 3 night stay, and maybe a 5-course dinner. And usually what I do, I would never create a menu.
Yeah.
I try to wait until these people come in town, and I would talk with them for 5 minutes and see what, you know, get a feel to what they would like, because I really want to make sure that I cook what they want. So, and most of the time, though, you get to learn if they have any allergies or gluten free. Yeah. So you can stay with them sometimes. But that was really fun for me to communicate with them, and then let's go ahead and cook. So that by itself was challenging, and I think I grow from that, because then I'm going to create this menu pretty much right on the spot. And usually after the first course or the second course, you know, I would always ask this question: where have you trained? You know, and I was always telling them, you know, I spent some time in Tuscany, but I've
all over the world.
I've never been to Tuscany, but I used to work at a fine dining restaurant in Orlando called Tuscany.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's where I get my Tuscan skills.
Yeah. Love it. Love it.
The Olive Garden.
Olive Garden?
Yeah.
Outback Steakhouse?
Oh my gosh, that's
But
funny.
yeah, it was a great experience, and you know, I always just try the appetizers, the soup, and the salad, and then in the meantime, I'll be thinking about the entree. And then I was like, hey, you know what? This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do for entree. You know, and then I just, you know, made the entree, and you know, it's always amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the feedback I always get, but I'm confident that, you know,
Yeah.
I have created something that they haven't had before.
Yeah.
And what I've created is digging 5 courses that most of the time all the courses are like so great
Yeah.
because of the time I spend time creating these courses.
Yeah.
I think about them first.
Yeah.
You know, it's on the fly. It's kind of like my personal challenge.
So if you if someone hired you to do like a personal chef job, is it the same sort of like consulting process?
Yes, I do that. However, I have menus
Oh, okay.
that I already created,
Okay.
and I will shoot them a menu,
Yeah.
but also let them know that I can still create something specific for them.
So we were
Technical
talking about
difficulties.
that you have the menus that you've already created, but if someone wants something different, you can work
Yes,
with them to create something different.
I do that, yes.
Okay.
And I do bachelor parties. I do housewarming parties. I also do rehearsal dinner, small weddings. I just
Yeah.
did a wedding on the beach the other day.
Yeah.
So it's the experience that I bring from Orlando, New York, and the yacht club. That if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I want to do something," if I'm not busy, then I can do it. I try to stay away from big weddings.
Yeah.
Like anything 50 and over. I try to stay away from
Yeah.
because of the care that it needs, and I don't want to mess up. I try not to get into things that are super stressful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And weddings are one of those.
Yeah.
You got to be perfect.
Yeah. And also I feel like just as not a chef, but like once you start getting into those bigger numbers, it's hard to maintain the quality
Yes.
of the food as well because it's just such a
Yes.
large volume.
You both make
Yes.
it at that point.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, what are you most proud of in your career thus far?
Building One Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, Building One Love. I feel like I have tried a lot of different things before. I've tried sunglasses. I've tried T-shirts. I always trying to do things that will one day help me become more successful. And after creating One Love, over the past 3-4 years, I'm starting to understand myself a little bit more as a person and what it takes to, I don't know, maybe to say it makes me happy. And I feel like wealth doesn't make you happy. All these things that people think that, once you achieve something, on the outside it looks like you're doing great, but most of the time I think you're really struggling to maintain and keep up. And I feel One Love allows me to work with people and to first and see the reaction on people's face. Whenever they take the first bite.
Yep.
And you can tell right away that it's something that I haven't tasted before.
Yeah.
And that is so satisfying.
Yeah.
And I feel like creating One Love, I have seen the reaction, I have seen the people, I have seen the comments, I have seen the reviews, and the people who works with me. Everybody actually loves what you're doing. It's fun. And for small business, I feel like I have longevity in our staff, the people that work here. They're here for some of these guys who work with me from the yacht club, from the hotel down the road there, and they're still here. So
That's great.
Well, and I think that again goes back to the culture that
Testament to
you've
you,
created.
yeah.
That they look to you as a mentor. They really respect you. They want to stay around. I mean, I think that's a huge testament. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's talk about what you're kind of kicking around now, like some of your fun
We were
things.
talking about it
Yeah.
before we started
We were
the
like,
podcast.
let's not talk about it. We got to talk about it when we're recording. So you're telling us about this sauce idea that you have.
I think I'm really good at making sauces.
You are.
And I feel that my sauces can be. I don't think I'm really superb than a lot of people. I think there's like tons of sauces out there.
Sure.
Most of these sauces are similar.
Yeah.
But I feel like One Love as a brand can create One Love sauces
Absolutely.
that people will, when they take home and come to One Love and says, well, you know what, I've tried this vinaigrette and it's different, but it's really tasty. I keep tasting this vinaigrette even in my sleep, so let's take it home. I feel that we have a very good chance of get these sauces manufactured. Maybe working with a co-pack company, and very soon we can have a couple of different varieties, variations of sauces.
Yeah.
It could be a jerk tamarind, or again, or black bean vinaigrette, which I don't remember if I ever seen any black bean vinaigrette, but it's something that I created because I wanted to be different. I wanted to create Jamaican plus I wanted to do tacos, and I think that's where the black bean comes in, because I said, well, you can't really do tacos without getting some Latin, maybe Mexican flavors. And then I created the hot tuna tacos. But then if I'm going to create a tuna again and tacos, then I need to have something Asian. So and that's where the soy comes from, and that vinaigrette. Because that vinaigrette is what I use to create that pico de mango, to make it, what it is, so it really complements the salad and complements the tacos.
That salad is so good. Is that the salad that's on the side of the mahi tacos? Yes. We always talk about that the sauce on that, like it makes it. I mean, we always talk about it. We're like, it's such a refreshing break from like the kind of heavy taco, and then like you have this like delicious salad, but it's
not even heavy taco. It's got a little kick to it.
A little hot, a little spicy. The aioli
mahi tacos, they got a little heat to it. So then you get the rice and the beans, and then you got the salad with that.
The vinaigrette.
Refreshing.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's really unique. Like when you eat it, you're like, "What is this?" It's so good, but you can't like say so. It's black bean vinaigrette.
Yeah, it is.
Who would have thunk?
Who would have thunk? I never would have guessed it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's really exciting. Possibly like bringing One Love sauces to market.
I will definitely. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I just say to myself, "There's not enough time in a day to get things done." But, little by little.
Little by little, just like one step at a time, making those connections. And then also we talked about possibly manufacturing your ginger tea, which another one of those like, what is in this? This is delicious, but I can't figure it out. It's so good. Yes. So you're working on that too?
Yeah. And the ginger tea, I don't know, sometimes I say a little too much, and I don't want anybody to steal my idea.
Yeah, don't say too much.
But it's something that, again, through my experience in working at different places, I have picked up things here and there.
Yeah.
And every Jamaican restaurant always have ginger. It doesn't matter how small. But then I said to myself, I really don't want to do ginger beer, because that's what they all call it, ginger beer. So I said to myself, well, we grew up drinking ginger tea. It's just not cold. So that's where that idea comes from, to say, again, wants to be different.
Yeah.
And creating a tea that is ice cold and tasty, that have a ginger flavor. Plus, I think it's also good for you.
It is, yeah.
Yes.
And during the time when the whole community shut down, people were drinking a lot of ginger tea.
Yeah, I believe it.
One guy came in and he was like, "Man, this is a cure."
Who knew?
Who knew? Just drink ginger tea, guys, but not just any ginger tea.
One
Chef
loves,
Clive's, ginger tea.
Yeah. So you are looking for a manufacturer to work with where you can do like smaller batch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Interesting.
I have to start small.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, I'm just putting that out there because you never know who's listening, and it'd be someone who could help you, like with smaller batch beverage.
Mark Cuban.
Mark. Yeah, maybe him. Yeah. Okay. So, can we do some fun questions now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean.
All right.
Ooh.
I mean, these are all fun, but like these.
She said that to someone else. Oh, can we do some fun questions?
Fun food.
And then she started doing them, and they're like, "These are hard questions."
Okay, some people think they're difficult. Okay, so if you don't want, if I say any that are too difficult, we can skip it. Okay, so pineapple on pizza, yay or nay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. You heard it here first.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
I haven't been to the movies in a while, but I that's a really good question.
We can come back to it.
We can come back to it.
You want to come back to it? Okay. What do you think is something that people would be really surprised to learn about you?
So, I think sometimes people misjudge me. I am a really cool person, really laid back, really kind, and I think they would misjudge me and thinking that maybe I'm someone else. But I'm a really kind person, and always wants to help.
What do you think the misunderstanding is?
So I tend not to speak a lot.
Yeah.
I tend, I would say hello. And, I have a guy with, a small amount of words. But I think basically that's it.
Yeah. So like maybe people perceive you as being like standoffish or like rude when it's not that. You're very kind and sweet, but you just don't have a lot of words to say a lot of times.
Right.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, I can see that. I mean, I say I could see that, but I've never ever perceived you as being anything but kind. But I think it's your energy that kind of precedes you and speaks for itself. I've never gotten rude off of you, but I definitely get like you only speak when you have something to say. You don't like fill up the space. Okay. What's your perfect day off?
Is this pertaining to like what do I do on my day off?
If you had like, if there was no limit and you could do anything and make like your perfect day off, like you had all the money in the world, there was nothing, like what would you do for a perfect day?
I like to go home, believe it or not.
Yeah.
I like to go home and I like to just stroll, just walk through the community.
Yeah.
And just getting foods from wherever I can find it and just saying hello to people as I walk by.
Yeah.
And I think it is satisfying for me. I really enjoy doing that, and just to be human, just like, okay, I'm relaxed, I'm chill.
We've talked about this before, and you also said you'd love to go to the beach and play your guitar.
I'd love to. Yes. I played the guitar a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
So just chill, lay back, and just play, and just have a vibes and just enjoy the moment.
So would you prefer to cook for yourself on a day off, or do you prefer to go? You were saying you like to try other foods.
I would go out.
Go out.
Yeah, but I go to the. I tend not to go to fancy places.
Yeah.
Because but if I'm going on a date, I will. But for myself on a day off, I'm just chill. I'd like to just maybe go to another small food shop.
Yeah.
And just grab something simple. If I'm home cooking, it's the fastest meal I make.
One pot. Lobsters and
whatever's in the cover.
Yeah, exactly.
Chop style.
It's really quick,
So where's your favorite place to eat in Key West?
Besides here, obviously.
I love going to Blue Heaven when I get a chance.
Yeah.
It's the place where I grew up in Key West, basically.
Okay.
And I know some of the guys there. I know the chef, and the owners are really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always a seat at the table over there. It's like you go over there and you feel like you're home.
Yeah.
So
what do you like to order at Blue Heaven? What's your favorite?
Yellowtail.
Okay.
Yellowtail.
Cool.
We've talked too much about food.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, hold on. We have a little more interview to do.
I'm fine with talking about food. I'm just hungry.
Do you have any pets?
Well, I love plants, so now I'm just working.
You're a plant dad.
Yeah.
You're a plant guy. What kind of plants do you have? Do you have orchids? Do you have?
I have a couple of orchids.
Okay.
I'm working on some some kind of plants, some palm and stuff like that. Even for example, banana plant.
Yeah.
I love these plants. So.
That makes sense. I mean, I've always noticed there's so many plants here, so that makes sense that you're a plant guy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of the things I love about it here is all the
most of
greenery.
these plants are donated, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I should donate an orchid.
Isn't that called like a fiddle fig right there? Is that what that's called, a fiddle fig?
No,
The big one.
The big one.
Yeah. I think that's what that's called. It's very healthy. It's very pretty.
It is. That thing's moving and grooving.
Yeah. Okay,
there's a lot of plants now that you say it. When we first moved here and we got our long-term place that we're staying at, I went maybe a little orchid crazy.
Yeah.
And now I got like over 30 orchids.
Oh yeah.
I just kept buying any orchid I saw. So, but I didn't get like the regular ones. I got like the more exotic ones.
Yeah.
So I hear you on the plant stuff.
Yeah. So what is your most unpopular food opinion?
So I barely critique somebody else's food.
Yeah.
Because I don't know the train of thought. I don't know what you're thinking when you create it. Not because I may try something.
Yeah.
That mean I don't. It's not good.
Yeah.
But I think I'm not so good with organs, and
Yeah. Same.
and I'm not a big seafood. When I say seafood, I'm not talking about lobster and shrimp. But once you get into the mussels and the scallops and the
I hear you on that one.
It's just not up your alley. Not your thing. Yeah, I'm not a big scallops person either. I've tried them again recently, and I'm like, I don't know. They're
Didn't do it for me.
Like very fishy, I think, and they have like a weird texture to me. But some
texture,
people love them. But
it's a texture for me too.
yeah, it's kind of almost like rubbery or weird or something. Yeah, totally agree. Okay. What advice would you give 18-year-old Clive?
The advice I would give 18-year-old Clive is to get out of the country and move to Kingston. I would definitely do that now that I've discovered Kingston. I've discovered Kingston lately because I grew up in the country. And, in my head, and, what I've learned and taught over the years is that Kingston is hardcore. But, you're hearing it from the people who have that hardcore experience.
Yeah.
You're not hearing from the people who get to live a nice life in Kingston, which is New Kingston, and see what's going on in Kingston.
Yeah.
And I get a chance to visit Kingston recently, and I love it.
Interesting. It almost sounds like when people who don't really know about Key West, they're like, Key West, is there anything other anything to do other than drinking? And it's like there's a whole other side to Key West.
Way
you
more
can choose how you experience it, so it sounds very similar.
Exactly.
So you've only just recently discovered Kingston.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, and I love it. I feel like if I have the opportunity, I would definitely do something in Kingston. Maybe another One Love or something.
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
To my surprise, there was a lot of cuisine. I see, falafel. I see Indian restaurants there. I see all these different cuisine breeds. And this is in New Kingston, and you would never think that, is this Jamaica?
Yeah.
And what I also found out too is that the level of service and the quality of food is better in Kingston than in Montego Bay Ultra West and those stores.
Really?
I think the reasons for that is that locals are I think they're harder to please.
Yeah.
They're more into flavor and taste.
Yeah.
So you're cooking for the locals, you got to come good. If you're cooking for the tourists, maybe then it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
like they're excited to be in Jamaica.
Yes.
So the food doesn't have to be as great, but locals, it's like, okay, we're focused on the food exclusively. Interesting. Okay, cool. Okay, so I want to be really mindful of your time, so I'm going to wrap up. So I want to say thank you so much. You're amazing. We love your food. You're so sweet, and thank you for coming on. And how can we best support you? So we'll link to your Instagram. We'll link to your Facebook. You're supporting us in our giveaway. You're giving us $50 to the One Love food truck for whoever wins our 100,000 follower giveaway. But how else can we support you?
Well, I think you guys are really doing great. When you come, you guys really showcase and walk around and just show what we have going on here. And continue to do what you're doing. I think. I think over time we'll find more ideas.
Yeah.
And we will do more, and then you guys.
Yeah.
We'll do more. So the more we do, the more you guys. Have to do, and hopefully we can recreate some events in the summer.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We have done reggae Sundays before.
Oh yeah, fun. Yeah,
maybe we can recreate those and
love it,
and get people to revisit our website at onelovekewest.com or chefclivethompson.com and check us out on Instagram, Facebook. We're all over the internet. So
we'll link to all those on our episode, and also, so if someone wants to come to Key West and experience your food, they can come to the food truck. Obviously, they can hire you for small events for catering, or they can also hire you as a private chef. So they need to reach out as soon as possible to make sure they can get on your calendar, basically. But ASAP. Yeah, but there's lots of ways that you can try Chef Clive's food, and if you come to Key West and you don't, you're not doing Key West right.
It's a must-have. It's a must-have.
Come to One Love.
Yes.
I do it on our lives all the time. Turn on that street if you're coming in. You'll see it at the Chevron gas station.
This cute little garden back here.
They open at 11.
Yep.
You gotta set for Mondays. Gotta try One Love.
Yes.
Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you.
Chef Clive, thank you.
Yes.
You're wonderful.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, guys. See ya.
Bye.
Peace out.